A reserve currency has a monopoly. They have the advantage. There's no way to deny this. The US has their hegemony and they have been capitalizing on it. Every day it seems that another country has been calling for the world to move away from the US dollar. This has been happening, but it's been a rather slow process. Nevertheless, it's still happening. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we are going to talk about Venezuela. I want to talk about the US dollar and so many other topics. Let's begin. Looking at this article out of the RT. Nicolas Maduro proposed oil producing countries should discuss creating a currency basket for trading crude and other refined products. This is not only important for this particular country, but it is also important for all of those involved. Developing a new mechanism of controlling the oil market is necessary. You know what's happening with China. They've created these currency swaps. They have them with dozens of other countries. This currency war that has taken place now is expanding. Trading paper futures has an adverse impact on the oil market, undermining attempts by OPEC to stabilize prices. Introducing alternative currency baskets, including the yuan, ruble, and other currencies, will eliminate the impact of futures trading. That's what Maduro's saying. And they're going to do their deals with Russia on their debt restructuring, as they call it. I think this is very, very significant to see where this goes. If they're actually able to do this, then I believe it's huge. I don't know if all of them are going to follow suit on this, but you can see that slowly but surely there are countries that are engaging in using an alternate rather than the US dollar. Maybe it's a small piece of the total pie, but it's still important. It's still significant. So let's follow this as time goes on. We'll see what happens. This major Russian mobile phone operator, Megafon, will issue the 500 million, I believe that is, ruble worth of blockchain bonds in the first ever Russian blockchain bond issuance. I think this is significant here because of the involvement that Russia has with the blockchain. It seems that they're adopting it. It seems that they're taking this on. We'll see where it goes. I just thought it would be worth mentioning, and since it connects in with the previous article. All right, now Puerto Rico is facing a government shutdown on October 31st, so yet again we are met with another crisis. This isn't the debt ceiling of the US. This is simply another bankruptcy problem. They've already suffered, and then they had the whole hurricane recently. This is going to be a very big problem unless the debt is wiped out. Will they wipe out the debt? What's going to happen to all the bondholders? What's going to happen to everyone involved? Well, we'll see. The U.S. Commonwealth's bankrupt government is burning through the $1.6 billion it had on hand before the hurricane ravaged the island, destroying and decaying the infrastructure, killing 34 people. All right. What can they possibly do here except eat through all of their reserves? Their money is just evaporating, it seems. And I don't know what they're going to do about this. I mean, regardless of what just happened recently, I'm looking at this, from a financial analysis, and they have no chance of survival. The only chance would be, of course, a bailout. And you know who's got to pay for that. Issuance of major bonds in the bond market in recent years. We're looking here at China. And just recently, they have been increasing their bond issuance dramatically. Why? My opinion, the amount of debt has been increasing to such a great degree. But which area is it? You know what, Money GPS? It's just this area. It's just that area. Actually, no. You can see that here, all well, anyway, these 4 sectors, major contributing factor to this. We're looking at everything: corporate, government, financial bonds, everything. And it doesn't surprise me, because what's happening in China is no different than what's happening everywhere else in the world. Many people want to propose that China is the be-all, end-all. Nothing ever bad happens in China here, but yet that isn't true. Does that mean that they're not going to grow into the future? Absolutely. They're going to grow. They're going to have much of their population moving from the rural areas into the cities. If even 1% of their population does anything, it makes a significant impact. The ripple effect is felt throughout the world. I think it's huge. I think it's important. Okay? All right. Now, no bid contracts. I love them. I love them because at least they're not lying to everybody that there is actually a bid process. But Equifax, now you've heard about Equifax, what just happened recently. It was brought up in the news. It became huge. IRS awards multi-million-dollar fraud prevention contract to Equifax out of all companies. And especially right after the whole issue has come up. It's just, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but that's the way it is. The no-bid contract was issued last week as the company continued facing fallout from its massive security breach. So they give up potentially 145 million plus American data. And what are they going to do? Well, maybe their stocks had taken a dive, just like these other companies out there. You'll see something happens, stock goes down, and then you'll see different analysts say sell, sell, sell. That brings the stock down further. You'll see certain mutual funds, different types of funds, they start selling their positions in it. They start shrinking their portfolio based on this. And you'll see that in this case, they were just helped out. Big time help. Oh, don't worry, you're facing a shortfall? Well, we'll fill that up for you. Here's a nice big no-bid contract. What are you most concerned about in credit for the next 12 months? Number 1, quantitative failure. What happens when QE doesn't do what it's supposed to do? Now, there's all of this QE money sloshing around in the system, and where will it make its way? Well, I like to think of it like this. There's QE, there's the support being held up here, and it's almost as if the door is kicked up from under it and the QE falls down. This is a wonderful elementary picture for you, by the way. But I hope you understand what I'm saying. It's that all of this QE is being supported by itself, by the QE, but basically nothing is there. And then it's kicked up and everything falls. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. All I know is that we are in for one major situation to occur. It could go from bonds, ridiculous size bubble. It could be stocks, anything. But once you have one fail, all of the dominoes fall. Look how skyscrapers have predicted recession throughout history. I'm not going to get into the coverage of the actual article here. I just thought it was interesting. I wanted to bring it to you. Essentially, they went through this skyscraper index. It shows a correlation between construction of the world's tallest buildings and an impending financial crisis. So we're looking at these tall buildings that are being proposed and they're being, in development. And then what happens after? Well, some sort of financial crisis. So I think if you're interested, and you could see that historically how this has gone throughout time, if you just go to a search engine and type in the skyscraper index, you should get that article there. And then last but not least, what's happening in Spain, clearly not good for stocks. You can see that it has taken a nosedive here recently. I've been covering this as it's been going on, and it doesn't look very good unless we look at it from Catalonia's perspective, and then it could be very good. And I don't think it was going to be just all rosy. I don't think that at all. I think there will be bumps along the road, but I do believe in smaller government, and the smaller the better. So this could be good. I'm just interested in the prospect of it all. So that's all for this video. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. When you give me a thumbs up, it pushes these videos higher up in the YouTube search rankings. So I do appreciate that very much. And last but not least, if you found this video informative, I know you will find my books, The Money GPS, and my new release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. You can flip through these books at Amazon. There are links in the description below. Take care.